we are joined by Josie Jackson. Josie Jackson here is this beautiful energy who I've actually been able to connect with a handful of different times before, and she's got such an amazing, insightful way about her. And I've noticed her in the beginning; she was like an alchemist of energy, and also was getting the same channel messages that I was, and no one else was saying the things that I was hearing. And then I found Josie. So Josie's been somebody who's really important and close to my heart for a while. And I'm so happy and honored that you've come to join us today. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you for bringing me on, allowing me to share your space.
Of course. So, we were talking about a lot of different things before we got started, but there's just so much going on right now. I was just wondering, um, should we just, I know I'm that person that's like, all right, let's get down to the middle of it right now.
Yeah.
Like a fork in the middle of the pie, right?
It's like when you start the conversation and you say, so, and then all of this stuff comes after
Right, right.
that part, because that's where we are.
That's
We're there for
what's going on right now. What's going on, Josie?
y'all. And my question for technical reasons is, can you see any comments that
Yes,
that are happening?
you can actually too. So over on the side, it says chat. There's a button that says chat. Do you
Oh
not have
no, I'm not gonna worry about it. As
that?
long as you can see the comments, I'm good.
I can.
Good.
We
This
have
is
Fleur de Lis here, Jeanette's here, Nezzy's here, Deb's here, Tanis, and Jasmine.
awesome, awesome. Um, lately I've been experiencing micro realities lately. It's definitely different from a I call it simple, from a simple accelerated timeline. No, these micro realities, they
Yeah.
are different because you have the awareness of where you are and you know that you're not there with the person that you're looking at and observing, with the people and the things that are around you. You're like, something's just not right. They're not there, and I'm not there. Everything's just these spheres of realities right next to each other. That's me lately.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, that's been my experience, and um the purpose the purpose of it though, if you're experiencing that as well, loves, it's because october October wants to be the big kahuna, right?
Yeah.
So we are being prepared as star seeds, light workers, whatever you fancy, right? We're being prepared for October. So there's a lot of new things to us in our awareness that we're experiencing right now, because the rest of the collective is going to be experiencing it in October. And of course, we're always the ones that need to be calm and grounded for everyone else. So we get the pre show, the preview, right? So this is where we are. The new theme is micro realities and observing, right? But also being aware of where you are and what you're doing, letting those realities be and do what they're doing, but know where you are and what you're doing, because it's too easy. It's like a hair trigger to go from observation to obsession and get sucked in to one of those spinning spheres of realities that you're not actually in yet, but you can get into it, you
Yeah.
see. So yeah.
Like the spin cycle. I got sucked in two times. Just for one time 15 minutes. And I was like, it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, and spiritually it's like trying to escape a rip current. That's
Yeah.
how it feels, because you think it's safe, right? Because of how things have been. You think it's safe. Oh, let me, put my 2 cents in. Oh, there's something that I see. Nobody invited me. I'm just gonna, say something real quick and that'll be the end of it. Oh no, it becomes you. You become it. you're all wrapped up and you're like, whoa, where'd all of these strings come from?
Yeah.
Wait, this wasn't mine. It didn't belong to me. So you got to fight to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
there's replication happening as well. I deal like in the quantum healing that I deal with. Sometimes, people have types of what we call shadow parasites that replicate themselves. So if you go to remove it, if you don't act quickly and do certain things a certain way, it'll replicate before you can actually get rid of it. And again, dealing with these realities, they're literally replicating. Okay. Like I look, y'all, I'm an 80s baby. What is it, Gizmo? When he gets wet and then more of them from the gremlins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Midnight food and yeah, wet.
that's happening also within, and you've got to have a quantum mind in order to understand what I'm saying, because yes, this thing is happening, but that thing is happening within that thing, and so on.
Right.
So, um, but you don't have to make a big deal of it. It's okay to be calm, because a lot of people don't understand that it's okay to be calm. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with you if you're calm. It's okay. You're not obligated to freak out, you
Right.
know? That takes some energy, getting worked up over something that you barely understand, that you're just observing.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's like being overly invested in a reality show or a TV. Yeah, reality shows aren't real, you know, and like in my opinion, but just like that's what it basically is, right? And it's like being over invested and then it kind of creates almost like that. We were just talking about this earlier on the live I was doing. Someone was asking about we're doing this Groundhog Day time loop. You notice what time loop,
Yes.
right?
Look, and I didn't even want to bother mentioning the deja vu thing. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? Because again, it's one of those. It's the and I think that I heard on the Sology, the video that I was watching with you when you were on. I think there were three of you that day, but y'all are talking about Russian nesting dogs.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a thing right now. It's that thing within the thing within the thing. However, if you continue to focus on feeling and using your whole body to um exchange information
Yeah.
in your reality, then you are less likely to replicate with everything, spin with everything, get entangled in everything, right? But if you're in the mind a lot, oh, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. I
Right.
won't be able to help you.
Right. When you're stuck on the story, right?
That part.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's tough. And it's tough to be us right now,
Mhm.
because we're so far away from anything normal, yet there are still beautiful souls here that we're observing that have no idea. And that's been my thing. Okay, Pamela, that's been my thing. I've been watching people and I'm like, man, they seem so okay. They seem so grounded in their reality. Like nothing's happening. And it's fascinating to me because I'm not having that experience. I'm not in a comfort zone like at all. I'm function with all of this going on and with all of this awareness. And I'm looking at people at the grocery store and people, just in their day-to-day lives. And I'm like, wow, they're really just chilling. And that's, they're living their life and everything's normal and that's all there is. And they're just really confident and secure in that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know what I'm saying? Because we're past psychological issues and things that people want to label us with and all this and that. We're past that. This is no longer the, oh, so and so's crazy zone. No, this is beyond being able to explain or even like ridicule. Okay, okay, this is it's definitely wow. Okay, okay, y'all. It's like rice paper. You know, you can see the shadow. If you had a sheet of rice paper in front of you, you would see the shadows and everything of the people on the other side. But at the same time, because there's that division,
Yeah.
you on a soul level know that you should only observe.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like we keep getting put into these positions where spirit is saying, observe. That is it. Observe. And I remember telling somebody something earlier this week. I said the reason for the observation is to be able to not necessarily tell the story later, but to teach later. Um, you don't always have to take action and be involved. Sometimes your only job is to actually record because you're just going to simply hold that information for a later time when you need to actually express it in some kind of way, whether it be through a skill, um, actions, words, things like that, teaching. So yeah, that unfolded nicely. I was like, oh,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about his grilled cheese.
And
Yeah.
sometimes your skill is just smiling at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like this goes along with the same message I'm always getting is it's do not go to them for you too shall be lost. The,
Okay.
it's really what it is. And like it sounds scary. It's like, ooh, but no, it's just like, dude, there's some hollow people up there that are doing their spin out and they're collecting in like this density. It's like this thing that happened, and like and it's then you can that getting sucked into those things is
Mm-hmm.
that energy vortex. And what we've been seeing for sometimes we're actually going through what's called a black hole, but it's not a bad thing, into
Mm.
a new frequency. And my kiddo told me about it. I've seen it. Like it's happening. And when that happens, it's like that. You get the soup cans and the string, and you have a telephone game, and there's a vibration on the string, right? Well, we're cutting that string, so we no longer have to have the frequency of this icky stuff. And so while that's happening, things become more and more empty. We can notice them more and more empty, like the non-player characters, the empty people
Mm-hmm.
are becoming more obvious. They look gray now too. Have you noticed they have a different complexion?
Oh, you know what's so funny is it's not. I don't know. Honestly, sometimes I can't tell between the third and the two eyes. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
but I asked somebody the other day. I was like, you're not looking at people. You don't like. You don't see them like because I'm seeing people in a way I have never seen them before. And it's not like if somebody shape shifts in front of you. It's not a physical change or aura or any feature that is physical, right?
yeah,
I am literally, it's like their soul steps forward as soon as I make contact and I see the same person that is not the person that I'm actually looking at. This is the thing that I'm going through right now. Okay. They're that person from either another timeline, the future, somewhere, but I am seeing both of them and the projection is in front of the person that I'm actually looking at. So I'm sitting here like, okay, ignore that part and still try to treat this person, according to their reality. that they are in right this moment, right here, physically. So I'm having to
Yeah.
ignore a lot of stuff.
You're talking. They call them echoes. That's what they're
That's
called.
what it feels like.
Oh, I've you're the first person I've talked to who knows what that means like this. I'm what
I'm
this
sitting
is
here
a
like,
big deal.
yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like, wow. I have not allowed myself to get into it because it just seems so so much. It's like a pushy energy, like when you're doing mediumship and somebody really wants to get a message through.
Yeah.
Again, my spirit is saying, yeah, I know you see that, but observe. Don't get into it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more behind it
Yeah.
than you think. So there's no fear when I'm having these experiences. It's just that that higher wisdom is strong right now when it comes to, hey, we're not getting into that.
Yeah. And it's getting easy. That's something that I'm noticing. Like, I mean, you got at least, so we had like around the 12th through the um through the 15th, we had this really intense 13th, I guess, the 12th, 13th, 15th, we had this intense window and a lot of people really struggled right
Yeah,
then. And
me too.
I had a few dips too. That was around the time I got pulled into the wash cycle or the spin cycle. I was like I was in this like I thought I offended somebody thing. I don't do this. I don't human like this anymore, like and, and I was just like I was really down on myself about how I had like offended this individual and stuff. And for 15 minutes though. It was only 15 minutes, but I was like,
Long 15 minutes.
yeah, because I don't go there anymore. And I was like, I sucked myself back out, and I'm just like, what was that?
Exactly. It's been tough. I've watched the kids because when I drop my kids off at school and everybody when I pick them up and the kids come to the car and I find out who showed up at school today and who didn't, it kind of tells me how the kids are handling these energies. And what is Saturday? I don't know what divine bliss happened on Saturday around 1 p.m. But ooh, things got really intense. A couple of people canceled their plans, and I was fine with it because my teenagers were fighting, and I was like, everybody just need to go home. We need to just go home because something's going on.
This
It was,
Saturday, yesterday, right?
yeah.
1
I
p.m.
need
Eastern
some
Standard.
days, y'all, because I can't keep up. It was
So this is
yesterday.
so 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Yeah.
So that would have been
Mhm.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I was having the same experience.
Yeah. And it's so funny because again, I was in my reality, but I was watching everybody else's and I was like, oh honey, y'all need a lot. Because I was good, but they were not. And there were so many people around me that was not good. I had to make the command decision to come home and just let everybody be. Don't bother them. Just make sure they had food and just everybody go to their corners. Everything's gonna be okay. We're just gonna reset.
Yeah.
That's what we did. But that energy was definitely for me, it was it was a different kind of blissful energy. It was like a grounded high yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like a really gentle expansion from the heart space. And I'm just walking around in this bubble wondering, okay, when are these other people going to be done throwing their fits?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that stuff was tough yesterday to watch. because I was watching it. Now, the grocery store, I was
Yeah.
like, why are so many people here? Is it football? Are they doing football Sundays again? Are we there now?
Yeah.
Time is not a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why I have to say the days, and I can't say yesterday or tomorrow. No, because it'll mess me up mentally if I use those terms.
Yeah.
So time is definitely not a thing, because yesterday being Saturday, I was speaking of it as if it was a few days ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's how it felt. Okay.
I'm with you.
I don't
I'm
know.
with
And I'm cool with it, you know. I'm like, this is where we are, this is how we're functioning, and if things get canceled, I'm like, okay.
you.
I've just been kind of with the Sonic. Is it Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Those rings. He goes really fast and he's going through those rings. And that's how I felt like life has been. I'm just going through these rings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. If I miss one, it's okay. I'll go through the next one. There's a whole bunch of portals open every darn where. Everywhere.
Yeah. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Everybody makes a big dance. 222 right now, by the way. Go ahead.
And I was just telling somebody, first of all, it feels like October is tomorrow. Okay. It feels like October is like here. And I was talking to somebody else, don't remember what about, but I was saying, yeah, you know how they say on All Hallows Eve, right? Samhain, that the veil is very thin, during that time. Well, I feel Halloween now. I feel like the freaks are out during the day and the night now. Like, it's just, I don't feel alone, not one bit. I don't feel alone at all. Okay. So there's plenty of activity.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's okay, I want to ask you a question because this is
Mhm.
kind of fun. So I've been seeing this for a little while, but other people are starting to see it too. So I would here let's get your take. So um I noticed it more because our energetic bubble
Mhm.
sphere is bigger now, right? A lot bigger, right? Because at least I know I'm reaching out a lot more. Like I'm just like, you know, and um, so people who have energies on them that they're still kind of working through, they look
Uh-huh.
kind of like ferrets. They're like black shadowy things that are around their necks and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and usually you don't see them until they enter your sphere. And when they enter your sphere, then they get upset and they start to wiggle around and run and stuff. And then you see the person's eyes change from fear into fear and then anger at you. Like,
Wow.
and because these things are upset in your presence.
Mhm.
Um, well, they're starting to jump off of them now. Like they're fleeing in our presence. And I'm
Oh,
are do you know what I'm talking about? Or I'm just being crazy.
no, no. I because again, the perception and the lens is always different in a different body.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as you were talking, I said, "Oh, is that the TV static that I've been experiencing?"
Right. Okay.
there's
Yeah.
these little, there's these little noodle things, around people. Um, that will, it's like sparks flying off, right? But they're not light sparks. They're these little squiggly black things. And again, every now and again, I'll see something floating around somebody, and then it will fly off.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So people look like they have TV static. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Leave them. So that's probably what I've been seeing and just did not understand what that was. But it is quite interesting. And I've experienced you know when someone talks to an empath and they say, "Oh, I feel so much better," like at the end.
Yeah.
I've noticed that when I get around people lately even if I don't know them, for some odd reason, their body language relaxes,
Yeah.
as if I had given them a hug and intentionally, did some kind of energy work. They just seem to relax more. And let's say if they were talking a certain way, like aggressively or assertively, that's the word, um, their tone will change.
You have a soften.
A grown person will speak to a baby differently than they would speak to a grown person. Yeah. And I'm like, that's interesting. It's like somebody's messing with a radio around me,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Yeah.
get too. And they'll tell you all their secrets, right? They're like, and the whole time they're trying to stop themselves, kind of. They're almost like, because they'll say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this. I never tell anybody this," but they're just still like,
That I call it word throw up, and it definitely does happen. But I have been actively hiding. I can only come out when it's necessary, and I'm very big on speaking the person's language and meeting them where they are. But sometimes that takes quite a bit of energy
yeah,
to do. But I never want to try to come at them because I'm aware of my energy,
right.
and I don't need the drama. Mm-mm. I offend people with my joy, believe it or not. I'll get super excited. It could be as simple as me greeting someone. I
Right.
don't say good morning often. I say greetings. You see what I mean? Or I'll just say hello. How's your day? Something like that. And they will respond with their normal good morning, but then they expect me to say good morning. And I'm like, nah, we're
Yeah,
not going to rewind. You responded, that's it.
yeah,
We don't need to do all of this. That's just like the whole, Merry Christmas thing. It doesn't have to be that way.
yeah.
I'm happy that you celebrate Christmas. Great. But I don't have to say
Right,
it. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Oh,
there's a lot of people trying to, again, yet hold on. Their grip is tight and they want things to be correct. They want things to be normal because in their world, everything is scary. They're full of fear and they're walking around afraid to walk across the street, you know,
right.
at a basic level. And I understand that. So again, I try to have some level of compassion, but we are divine translators, and it takes a lot of bending and twisting to deal with people out there in the world and how they're being smacked around by these energies, and you can't say a word.
Yeah.
You can't tell them, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. Oh, it's ascension. Oh, we just got hit with a CME. You can't tell them nothing. You just got to be like, I'm sorry that you're going through that. And get away. Just get away as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and just your eyes are just like, you were just stuck for a second. Yeah.
What you need? You want to ask me something? You want to ask me something? You chilling? Okay, just chill. My son,
I love him.
you can stay out of your room though, because you've been in there all day. I have to make him go get sun and stuff. It's like being in a cave.
I know. My kiddo's doing that too. She's like in her room all the time these days, and it's just like, yeah, there's gotta be. It can't be healthy.
Nope. I asked for the bare minimum. 10 minutes of sun. Don't cheat by going in the shade. Just stand right there in the driveway, get your sun, and come back in, and I won't bother you, because who has time? I work with the Arcturians, okay? I call them the galactic nurses, okay?
I like this.
But just because it's like that doesn't mean that it's like that. I
Yeah.
don't always need to be mixing something up, making you drink it and taking care of you because you failed to take care of yourself. No, I tell my kids, I don't care how many doctors there are on the planet. I don't care who else tells you whatever else they tell you, but you are responsible for your physical body. It was bestowed upon you.
Right.
It belongs to you. So you are immediately responsible for your health through your habits, through the way that you're thinking and feeling. So they know this. So I don't like uh, the germs, especially coming from a child to an older person, because we always get it worse.
Yeah.
And I'm just not here for it. Like, get, get your son, do your qigong. My son is what, Reiki. I think he's Reiki level 2. Yeah. So when you can tell when they're not doing it,
Yeah.
because they fall victim and they're out there flapping in the wind, and I'm like, okay, you live with me. Remember that. So, because I'm not going to sympathize. I'm gonna send you outside and let Mother Earth heal you, but you're not gonna stay in here.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how to balance, buddy.
I have to be that way with them because I don't want them codependent on this system,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? I want them to see everything around them and be able to utilize it. It's like in a video game. You should be able to get to the point to where you go outside and your soul leads you to a plant and it identifies itself and you have a conversation and you find out what it can do for you and how to prepare it and all of that good stuff.
Right.
That's where I am, but I can't expect everybody to be that way. So I just, little by little, I teach them what I can, and whatever they retain, I'm happy.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you more about those plants. You mind? That's cool. What's it like to talk to them? Like, how does that work?
Well, it depends because I always switch. It depends on how plants want to talk to me,
Mhm.
because some of them you feel them right through the clairsentience, but others you actually get clairvoyance. You get pictures and things. There's times where I will literally get instructions on how to prepare the plant for medicine, right? And I'll get all of the pictures and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine, and I always check though, because this, everything has a chemical compound, even us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what parts should I avoid? What parts should I not use? And I wait until I get that confirmation before I harvest and go to work, because
Yeah.
that's important. That's very important. Some of them speak in colors, you
I
see.
get that. I get that.
hmm So they'll tell you, that way, maybe which chakra, but I don't always associate colors with chakras. Sometimes I associate colors with emotions. So it just depends. Again, and sometimes you're using multiple clairs in order to get the full picture.
Right.
And sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you got to go visit that plant a couple of times before you feel confident enough to take action. That's what I recommend.
Right.
And I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm used to that too. I got to say that. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing though, talking to plants. I'm not a tree hugger per se, but I have hugged trees. But I don't actually have conversations with trees like some people do. I'm more of a seed grow, from seed, I have a relationship with that plant. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the wildflowers and the wild plants that are around, that are vines and leaves and all kinds of shrubs and things like that, something with something growing off of it, whether it be a fruit or a flower, I tend to have more of a relationship with those types of plants.
That makes sense. Yeah. Me
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah. How that
When I
look?
was little, we used to live in a city situation, but there was a lot of trees that would line the streets and little plants and stuff. And I found out that when I could graze my hand up against the leaf as I walked by, you could see that it was giving me energy. It's like this soft light goes in your
Mhm,
body, and it's just like a sharing, a giving. They're like, here you go, here you
mhm,
go. And all the little plants do that. They all give. Every time you touch them, they give.
mhm.
And it's like a tickly color light. Um, and they, um, it's fun to watch when people harvest food. And so, like, I did the example because my kiddo has a couple of friends who also see energies, so it's kind of fun to do this. But like, so there was three of them standing in a line. I had just cherry tomatoes, and my daughter picked four tomatoes, and then she handed one to or kept one and handed the rest to her other friend, and then down the line. And each time from harvest, and each time it exchanged hands, it lost some of its light.
Ah,
Its energy was imparted on the one that took it and then handed it. And so by the time the last person in the row got the food, it didn't have quite as much. And so it didn't taste quite as awesome, probably, too.
yeah,
You
it does matter. Like if my son has an attitude, I'm not gonna send him to harvest anything from the garden.
know?
Not
Yes.
happening.
Right.
I'll do it. I'm like, never mind, I got this. Because all the way to the point where you ingest it, you gotta be careful with the light quotient because it can get snatched.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
That's what they pray over food, right? That's the whole idea, is
Mhm.
that they're releasing the stuff that's not so great. Like, people who eat meat, they will find that there's a lot of fear in meat.
Mhm.
Typically, not always, but this is a common thing. And so that's why we're releasing the praying over the food, we're releasing this. And then, like, how many workers handled your food while they were pissed at their wife or their boss or
Part.
yeah.
And in my community, in African American community, we're particular about food that we eat from somebody that we don't know. Like we're particular about that when it comes to like potlucks and home cooked food, for a reason. Because everybody else will eat the food and be fine, but somehow we'll end up having an adverse reaction. And that's just the way it was growing up with me and what I understood, like in a personal experience. But when you expand on it and you look at the light worker community, the empaths, and you finally get it, you're like, oh, there's a sensitivity there. That's what's going on. And we're picking up on some things, that was that intuition working. But that's not what they called it.
Mhm.
Like, hey, you shouldn't eat that. You That's questionable. There's something there that ain't right. That's not for you. And you gotta trust it. Don't worry about if everybody else is eating it and they're just fine. If your body is saying, hold up, that's not for you, then take it as that. It's not for you. It could still be for them. It's just not for you.
Yeah. And that's the magic spell right there too at the end that you said, is because, like, I think that earlier on in awakening, that's probably the easiest trap to fall into, of the now I need to tell everybody to do what I'm doing.
Cute though
Yes.
when somebody awakens and they're sitting there talking to me about all of these awesome things that they find. I just hold space and I listen because you know I would have wanted people to do that for me. I don't tell them, oh, I already knew that, been there, done that. No, I listen and I encourage them and I say, yeah, you should keep going. And if that's awesome, that's great. Because as a facilitator, because that's what I facilitate, spiritual experiences,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what that person's belief systems are. So I don't have a right way of doing anything. And in my belief, everybody's right. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? And it doesn't mean that I promote negative actions or thoughts or whatever. It just means that I understand how it is that everybody is right and you are not going to change their mind. Belief is a powerful thing, and it is so powerful because the next thing that comes after belief is divine knowing.
Yeah.
Okay. It you travel through a process before you come into your knowing. So guess what? You can get to such an extreme with your belief to where you find out some new information and then you decide to discard the belief altogether.
Mhm.
And then you end up, everything comes through some kind of emptying out. You see what I mean? Beliefs change, they get discarded, they transform, all kinds of things. And this is why they're so powerful, because they lead to divine knowledge.
Yeah.
They lead to that eternal understanding that I believed this, but now I no longer believe that. Or I still believe part of this, but now the other part has changed. But by the time you get to divine knowing, you understand the whole process and all the parts, and that all of the points of belief were necessary, and you see it as the whole. You see, and you know when certain parts of those beliefs were necessary and what they were for. It's everything. I say the universe works in necessity.
Yeah.
So at certain times, it's very important for you to think and feel a certain way in order to get whatever it is that you're trying to receive.
Right.
It's just necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the cleaning out of the I always use the reference of you have to dump out your coffee if you want to know what tea tastes like. You know? Like what'd you say?
That part. That's
Yeah.
my favorite phrase. That part.
It's hard.
Seriously though, like, oh, I don't want to dump my coffee out. I'm not done. I
Yeah.
love my coffee,
What
but I
if?
want some of that too. Okay, well, this is what's necessary. So you just you decide when you want to try the tea.
Yeah.
And the tea will be here. The tea's never leaving. It's gonna be there. I tell people all the time, your creations, whatever it is that you desire, is always waiting for you. It's not the other way around. Okay, you have to meet up with the reality that you're creating, that you're manifesting. It's not, oh, in 2 years, I'm gonna, have this spa or this business or this car. You're putting timelines on it and all this and that. Everything is in the now. And it's just waiting for you to show up, to be in alignment, to be in that actual reality with it. And again, quantum thinking, if you understand that there's multiple realities and then there's parallel realities as well on top of all of that, then you'll know that all it takes is a simple adjustment,
Yeah.
and bam, that's how you do it. It's there. Um, Keep practicing. You'll get there. I know that it's frustrating for people to be like, manifestation is so easy. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have to physically work or put in some effort, but I'm telling you, it's different when you manifesting compared to just working because you feel like you have to, and the drudgery. It's totally different. The house that I'm in, I woke up one morning and decided I'm going to buy a house. People don't usually do that, but I did it. And now I'm here. And now I'm already ready to hit the road and camp and live in Airbnbs again. I think I drive people crazy, but I'm free. And I'm showing you how to be free, showing you that it's okay to change your mind. I'm not telling you that you need to go out there and just be irresponsible. I'm diplomatic. I help, the process by strategically planning, and I inform people and I communicate, and I'm like, hey, this is no longer working. I want to do something else. How can we make this happen? It'll be 6 months, great. As long as everybody in the situation is comfortable, I don't just dip out on people and pull the rug from up under them. I always leave things in the best way that I can within whatever control that I have.
Yeah.
And it usually works out, and I just continue to be supported, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm there too. Like I'm I'm noticing everybody doing this right now. It's something that's really cool, Josie. It's just that like everyone's moving. Not everybody, but a lot of people. All of a sudden, they're like, having established, or even recently, okay, these are my roots. So I'm not going anywhere. And it's like,
Yep.
all right, let's go. And a lot of people are moving. I'm gonna go live in Arkansas in a little bit here. I'm just gonna go. And I knew that was gonna happen a long time ago though. But this is just like once that we're now that we're here in the migration period, and migration period means not people need to go somewhere for their safety. It's just we're like magnets drawn to places right now,
Yep.
and it's like go.
Speaking of migration, when those storms were in the Atlantic and everybody was thinking, oh, they're going to join together, it's going to be all huge and all this and that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not really concerned about, was it Hurricane Lee? I wasn't concerned about Hurricane Lee, but I said, this is the side note though. I said, there is going to be something that happens though, where there's going to be a group of displaced people.
Mm-hmm.
And with what Pamela just said, I'm thinking those people, whatever happens, right, to cause, because it doesn't have to be a disaster or whatever. It could be anything that causes this group of people to have to move from where they are. It was most likely because they were really holding on tight and not really listening. There was a big amount of them not listening to their soul when it kept saying, yo, we got to go, we got to go, we got to move. So it's kind of like, okay, universal time is up. So now a situation is going to be created to get you to go, you know?
Yeah.
There is definitely something coming up though. Before I told a friend of mine by December where there's going to be a obvious group, a large group of people. I don't want to say any more than like 10,000, but I don't care about the accuracy of the number, but it's a large group of people that are going to be displaced, and it's going to be inconvenient, but
Yeah.
it was for a purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've been
that
waiting
thank
for
you
that.
for bringing it up.
I'm waiting for that too. There's some cool stuff that's happened. So the reason that I even like kind of, well, I don't know reasons, but so I'm connecting in with this zoology platform group is that we're going down to Houston to clear up some of the density there. So the next phases of development are able to occur. Though it will trigger some land movement, and that land movement's definitely going to cause some
Yep.
shifting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I felt that. Hold up, I gotta stretch or something. Oh, wow. That that's gonna be quite interesting for
Mhm.
sure. Wow. Woo!
There's going to be more land. We're going to be able to walk to different countries if drive, you know.
Oh, I can't wait. I have a aspect of myself is a galactic fairy. Okay. And it pops in and out of existence. Okay. It has wings, big crystalline wings. They're just clear, right?
Uh-huh.
What they're for, I have no idea because I'll use a pop in and out of existence. So I'm not one of those people that has what do you call it? The type of lucid dreams where I'm flying. I
Yeah.
don't like to fly. I don't like to go fast even in cars, okay? But somehow, some way, I like to travel even faster to where it doesn't feel like I'm traveling fast.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why I pop in and out. In my lucid dreams, I hover and I control the hovering with my breath. Okay. But you can't catch me flying nowhere. I don't want to fly. But if I can't just show up somewhere like I dream of Jeannie, then I'm gonna just walk, put me on a boat. I don't know.
That's a thing though. Okay, so teleportation. Let's talk about teleportation.
That's what it is. Girl, I couldn't have found the word if I tried.
Good. What's weird though is when I'm doing this, so they're calling it teleportation, but it's not really because I'll have changed my environment someplace. I'll have gone someplace, somebody will see me and I'll touch them. That happens. I startled somebody, a friend of mine, and she was gonna fall off the curb, and so I just kind of stopped her from falling, and then I was like, holy, and then I was like back, and my legs were asleep. So obviously my body didn't leave. So I was simultaneously physical in two places.
You bilocated.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to be in the same room. I would be talking to somebody, and a whole nother me would be over on the other side of the room, dressed completely different, watching me talk to somebody. And that's when I, of course, researched by location. This was earlier in my awakening. I was like, why is this happening? And I typed everything into Google and I finally found it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can be in multiple places at once. And there have been literal stories where it's been proven that the person saw that person there, even though they were there like at the same time. Like, it's a whole thing by location. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm sure I don't think that bilocation is part of like astral travel. I think it's a whole nother section of some situation. And it's not necessarily because teleportation, doesn't that require you to dematerialize in some kind of way and then rematerialize? Like,
That's
doesn't it require travel through some kind of wormhole? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's a lot that goes into it. It's not the same as just simply popping in and out of existence or bilocating. I don't know where you would put it though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I do know when so I leaned into it and asked, and the only answers I really got back was that this is like training or like the in between, like because you were talking about stairs. You didn't say stairs, but that's the octaves as we like get
Mhm.
better and better at something and away from whatever. Um, well, one of the stairs of this is one of the stairs of being able to simultaneously coexist in different realms and frequencies. So your higher aspect can be over here playing a game of pool, and then you could just be different places and also able to experience them. Not like it is right now. You know how it's like a faded echo, like a dream of a dream?
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, the moment I even got a whiff of that, I was like, who would want this? Who, there's some people that are obsessed with their past lives and all this and that. But I mean, could you imagine
Mm.
remembering all of your existence right now? How would you even be able to function? I did a QHHT session, I think it was a couple of years ago now. And that stuff is real because I got mermaid tendencies.
Yeah.
It just brought so much back that I didn't even know was there. And I'm like, yo, um, I don't want to do another one. I don't want to continue digging because it tells you the truth, just like tarot cards will tell you about yourself. Um, I figured out, and I keep getting reminded, well, that's why you're very used to these things. You're used to having alone time, and you're used to being alone. So why are you forcing yourself to be around people all the time? Like, what are you doing? What did society program you to do? Because there's a reason why you struggle having people around you on a consistent basis. You're supposed to have somewhere to go alone and then come out when you have the energy and then go back in. You're not supposed to just be sitting here with 50 million people in the home that you live in
No, yeah.
every day, waking up, trying to group mind and all this. No, no, that's not for me. And I'm 40 years old now, and I just realized that after years of trying to do the family thing and the whole household thing.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah.
No, it's not for me. I'm supposed to be traveling and doing this kind of work and just I'm supposed to be out there. And when I go to visit my children, we'll have our time and then I will go. I think around 70 years old is when I'll finally actually sit down and
Is it 70?
intentionally, you know, sit down, with my rocking chair. I like the Courage the Cowardly Dog house. I want to be in the middle of nowhere with my rocking chair and my wind chime.
Oh, I like this. I
But
like
right
this.
now, no, I need to run the galactic streets because, I'm for the galactic streets. Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
That's
You
what
know,
I need to do.
some of us are going to be here for a really long time, this particular
Mhm.
lifetime. Like, I was really surprised. I've been operating for years. I kept saying, I cannot wait for my vacation planet and get away from you assholes. Like, I'm so done. Like, I'm just not doing it for like lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. I'm going to be up there having margaritas and like beach, like, and then 2021 came, it was March, and I was meditating and energies came to me and they were like, hey, you want to hang out for like 1,000 more years? I'm like, sure. I didn't even have a minute of hesitation. I was just like, yeah. And I remember being shocked in the moment at myself going, wait a minute, what about vacation plan? You know? And then now I've been putting like, my ear to the ground, and there's like a lot of people at the same window of time all
Mhm.
over the planet that got the same thing. It's like, hey, you want to keep doing your mission? And like we're gonna be, doing the whole rocking chair at like 700. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I'm with you though. If we don't take breaks, you don't recharge, you're not doing
Mhm.
anybody any good anyway,
Nope, not
So
at all. Not at all. Can you check the chat and see what everybody's talking about? I'm so not used to not being able to see it.
I've been putting it up on screen. Have you not seen it?
Well, it's because I don't want to mess up.
Okay.
Um,
Can you see this when I put this up on the screen? Can you see that?
no, I'm
Oh
on my
no,
phone.
this whole
I don't
time I've
have
been
much
putting the
of a
chat up
screen.
for you. So we have Yolanda Marie here. We have a lot of people here. So okay. Uh what questions do you want? They're just saying how awesome you are and they love your energy. Love that. You're resonating with everybody. Great episode. Freedom is life, says Yolanda Marie. Um, a little
Yeah.
behind was there like everybody, there's just so many awesome positive comments. Most people are talking now about hermits and like
Mhm.
thanks for saying that, urban hermit here, Jen T Lee. And hermit mode is well needed.
Mhm.
Lots of this understanding and resonating with this need to recharge. Was that your
Yeah.
question? I'm sorry.
Hmm?
Was that your question, or do you want me
No,
to?
no, no, no. But if they have questions,
Okay,
maybe they
yeah,
they
go
can
ahead.
ask questions. Y'all can ask questions
So
because
Ernestine asked a
I'm so
question.
used to interacting with the chat,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I have no chat.
yeah. I'm with you. I didn't know you couldn't see it. I'm sorry. I must have. This is the first time I've used this platform for today. I just so like I haven't figured out the quirks. Um,
It's okay because I'm a party person. I'm like, hold up, where's the audience in this?
where's everybody
I
at?
need to see if
Yeah,
they're resonating. I need to see what they're talking about because again, there's always somebody in the audience that definitely adds to what's being talked about. And I just love that part
Yeah.
about these kinds of lives. Some of the things that they say really resonate as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we have some questions that have popped in since you've been saying it. So Ernestine wants to know how do we find you, Josie? And that's actually something I was going to bring up for sure at the end too. I, by the way, have Josie's Facebook page, Facebook page, YouTube channel in the description of this video, so you can all find her in that way. But please go ahead and
It's
how do they
50
find?
Central. For people who don't know how to pronounce it, that 5th represents the word fifth essentials, like the essentials for the fifth dimension type. That's the vibe.
What is it that you? What kind of services do you provide? Do you mind me asking?
Oh no, I don't mind. Okay. So since it's too vague to say that I'm a spiritual facilitator, I break it down for people. I do readings, right? I use cards for people who love to see the beautiful colors in the artwork, right? But I'm a psychic channel. I don't do mediumship work. However, if a loved one comes through during a regular reading, I will go ahead and work with that, but I don't intentionally do mediumship work. So I'm not sending nobody to the light, none of that stuff. I am a psychic channel. I work primarily with angelic and extraterrestrial energies. I can connect you with your spiritual team. I give you a lot of practical tools about how to navigate ascension. Okay, so that's kind of like what my spiritual readings look like. I'm a Qigong instructor and I'm Reiki level 2, Star Magic level 1 facilitator. So Reiki is Reiki, but Star Magic is more of a quantum healing situation. And I do consultations before. I don't just do Star Magic on anybody because it's not gonna work like Reiki. Um, Star Magic works on your whole life. So you gotta be ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Um, and I'm a massage therapist here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I just picked up doing massage therapy again. Sometimes I have to take breaks because I've been doing it for like 18 years now.
Yeah.
So, but that's the short version. I've got a meetup group that I just started for women called Jacksonville Women's Retreats. So they get a lot of the personalized stuff that you just heard. They get a lot of the subject matter and things like that in the group. We have Zooms, so you don't have to be local to join.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, that's the short
That's,
version.
that's really cool. And in order to find you, you can just go to your YouTube channel and find your
Yeah.
email there.
In the about section of my YouTube channel, and honestly, in some of my YouTube shorts, the community tab, there's a link somewhere to get to me,
Yeah.
especially to my link tree. But yeah, just start at the YouTube channel, you'll find
Right.
it.
And you're not a Facebook group. You're
I'm on meetup.com.
meetup.com. I was
A
about
lot
to
of people still don't. They're like, "What's Meetup?" I've been going to Meetup since like 2009.
yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm a Meetup veteran. I love Meetup. It was originally designed for you to meet up with people that had similar interests in person to get you out and meeting people. It has been more commercialized since then, but it's still my pre-networking staple.
Mhm.
And Meetup is global. When I went to Africa, there were meetups in Ghana. So there's nowhere that I know of that Meetup is not functioning.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah,
So that now Ernestine asked, what's your meetup group name?
Jacksonville Women's Retreats.
Awesome. Thank you. This will be really useful for people to be able to find you in this way. And then it's a digital kind of connecting. So through like a Zoom kind of platform. So it
We
doesn't
have a
matter
lot
where
of
you
tools.
are.
And for the people who are local to Jacksonville, Florida, we do have in-person events. We just went recently to EE Systems over in St. Augustine. That was our field trip because travel is always going to be a thing with me.
Mhm.
We went to try the essential energy systems. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with scalar energy, but those machines that create toric fields, and they create an environment where you're able to heal like all of yourselves like on a quantum level, because it literally like creates 0 point energy. It's awesome. I'm addicted to that place. I can't wait until the Jacksonville location opens.
I've never tried it before. I've heard it a few people. I've had a few sessions with clients that have come and talked about that having done something like that. And
You got, you don't, it's like the energy never leaves you. You know, it's got a signature. Like you and that energy, y'all, it's just like y'all create something. I don't know. It's just,
that's
it's something
cool. Wow.
so that, yeah, we do all of the stuff. I like to explore any little technologies and all whatever is spiritual or has to do with energy. I'm there and I'm all up in it. I'm like, oh, let's go do this. I
Yeah.
have to, get the ladies out there. We got an H2O float. Self-care is a big deal. This body is very complex and it's changing right now. So why not self-care, right? Why not do your energy work personally, your spiritual work personally, and also use all of the beautiful technology and tools that we currently have to supplement what you've got going on so that you can keep consistent with yourself.
Yeah.
Um, I have a PMF machine too that circulates your micro circulatory system, your capillaries. People don't realize that they got swamps in their bodies.
Yeah.
That's how I'm able to survive my second set of teenagers. Okay. Okay, I
Yeah.
got all of y'all, and then I got teenagers right now, and then my grown kids. They're still, it never stops. So Beamer, it's called Beamer, bioelectric magnetic energy regulator.
Wow.
Um, I use Beamer
Cool.
to keep going, y'all.
Check it out, man. I mean, yeah.
So it's a lot. I do a lot of stuff, but I'm not doing all of those things at once. It's whatever's necessary in the moment.
Yeah. As things come through, especially right now. I mean, we're in the shift. You were talking about something that really made a lot of sense to me, this like the observer thing. And just
Mhm.
being in this mellow, grateful, just like it feels like all of a sudden we grew up, and like we're watching everybody else like be idiots, and the way it felt was one day I woke up and everybody was stupid. And I'm just like, how did that happen?
What
And like,
you know?
yeah. And like, I went through a few days. It was especially since between the first and the 15th, and mainly for me, I was actually not in my body for those 2 weeks. I just barely got back in my body again. And I'm like feeling like I said and did some stuff that I kind of can't believe I did because I wasn't really here. And it's like it was really a weird situation. But and looking around and realizing how much is going on, it's like you had said this has a lot to do with, which is leading into the question that's the next question the person has. Is that we're already in the October frequency and we're already up here, right? And so people are asking, they want to hear about the gifts that are coming online the next week or so, as well as into October, like the stuff that's happening. You want to elaborate on that anymore?
Oh yeah. Oh. And I still will for my babies. I will do an October video. I'm gonna do a whole October energy update for y'all because I knew from the other video that we did I was gonna have to do that. October is going to feel like, and I hope y'all can stay with me on this. October is going to feel like there's a lot of people talking at the same time. Y'all get that, right? It's going to feel like there's a lot of people talking at the same time. And in order to separate the sounds, okay, you're going to have to embrace all of them and they will become one.
Right.
It's like rays that are spread out that become one big laser. That is what you are about to be learning how to do. And again, this is a feeling thing, even though I'm talking about sound. That's why you need your whole body and to be using all of your senses. You're going to have to not be lazy with your senses. You're able to breathe with your own body. You're able to think with your whole body. I don't know what I just said. And that's another thing. I've had that issue for the last, I don't know, 4 days. I will say something, hear myself say something, and then not even a minute later, turn around and I'll ask my son, what did I just tell you?
Yeah. Like you hear echo back and you're like, wait, that's wrong. Yeah.
So, so sometimes you may be in your expression and functioning, but you won't be there for it. And it's
Yeah.
okay to ask whoever you're interacting with what you just said. You're going to have to love yourself through this, okay? Don't feel bad for being a mess because it's not you that's the mess, it's a mess around you,
Yeah.
okay? And you're simply responding to it like choppy waters, okay? The waters are choppy, right? And what is it? Is it called a dinghy? The little boat?
Oh yeah.
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 So you're the boat, you're a dinghy, okay? And the waters are choppy. Does that mean you have to sink?
Right.
No, you don't have to sink. You chilling,
Yeah.
bouncing around, but you don't have to sink, okay? And that's what you're gonna have to remind yourself is that you don't have to sink just because the waters are choppy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's an
gonna be
emotional
happening
response.
because you're tuning to the frequency, the new frequency, okay? Um, So if some of you are having the experiences already, like the hypersensitivity, the extra realities, and all of this new awareness, um, it's not going to go away. It's not going to change. It's not going to stop. But you will finally be tuned to where it normalizes for you.
Right.
And you'll be able to handle it moving forward because, again, you're being stepped up, the energies are being stepped up for you to be able to function as your whole self,
Right.
okay? Your whole self. And it's going to require practice with using your whole body to express. We haven't been expressing. We have not really actually, we've been compartmentalizing our expression. We've been expressing one um using one sense as at a time to express. Like if you're using your hands, you're going to all of your energy is going to go into your hands. Like let's say, because I crochet. If I'm crocheting, most of my energy is in my hands.
Right.
It's not evenly distributed throughout my whole body.
Right.
And we've been going about life using individual senses
Yeah.
in certain expressions. And now you're going to have to use your aura, you're going to have to use your clairs and all kinds of stuff because you are indeed, oh, here they come. Look, y'all, bear with me.
Please.
You are indeed alchemists. You're not baby alchemists, you are alchemists. And you're coming into that realization. So you're going to start to utilize that ability that, oh, you are the gold. You are the gold already. You don't need to make the gold. You are the gold. Okay. So if you are the gold and you want gold, all you have to do is simply be and it'll multiply. Wow. Interesting. Um, Relax into yourself. You will catch yourself. So, the, what do you call that? That leap of, no, is it the leap of faith or the fall of faith, where somebody falls backward and somebody's supposed to catch them? And, that's a scary thing. You're
The
supposed
trust
to be doing,
exercise.
yeah, do that with yourself. Literally fall into yourself. Okay. And you're going to realize that there's so much more to you. And you've got all of these aspects of you within you that are fully functional and have been here this whole time. And once you have that realization, you're going to be able to utilize that aspect. So it's just going to kind of keep happening. Oh, my Native American aspect is here. I never knew I had one. Okay, let's roll. Let's start using it. We're going to start learning about it. We're going to start really interacting with it. Next thing you know, oh, I got Asian ancestry. Wow, let's start using that. You're going to go through these series of realization and research and then utilization because it's now necessary. Um, wow. So, a lot of the people that are watching this right now,
Mhm.
um, you've already gone through ascension. So, you came back. You know how, oh, do
Mm.
you know how the people will say, "Oh yeah, we have waves and the way showers have to go first, and then humanity goes second and blah blah blah. We awaken in waves and we go first and then they come after us because we're like a step down for the humans that we're trying to assist in ascending." Well, guess what? How would that be possible if we had not ascended yet? Back, because that is how much time is so different between the spiritual world and this physical reality. A
Right.
lot of time passed in the ascension process. So we are already back here being the step down units for the people that how a girl in the universe talks about the vacation planet, talks about the people who needed a little more time.
Yeah.
Look, y'all just bear with me because I know this may not resonate with some people, but we've been on the vacation planet with these people helping them ascend.
Oh no.
Okay. we that's where we are. Okay. So we have not been on the planet that we left.
Yeah.
We've been on the vacation planet, and you wonder why they say, oh, Gaia is no longer here anymore. Well, yeah, now it makes sense that Gaia is not here anymore, like here, because we have moved into the fifth dimensional energies.
Yeah.
We've been here for a while. We have moved into the fifth dimensional energies. But for a lot of the people that we're helping ascend just by our presence and being transformers or transducers, what is it, radiators, being that for them, um the physical planet that we are on, right, is not the planet that is
Yeah.
recovering.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did not know. We weren't there to experience that thing.
Yeah.
So if you think that you're going to be here in a Terminator scenario, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're having memories. You're not actually physically here for that. That's a memory because that has already happened.
Wow.
And yeah, and this is because seriously, do you think that you would have been able to rainbow bridge from that particular
Shit.
planet with that Terminator timeline?
Right.
Rainbow bridge from there to fifth dimensional Terra. Are you kidding me? That's like, oh, I'm gonna be a trash man that picks up trash with my bare hands.
Right.
It's okay, I'll just wash them. I know. So yeah, you're not where you think you are, and it doesn't work the way that you think it works because you think about it.
Wow.
The moment that you felt like things were different, they were. And think about how many times you've had that moment where October felt like August and all
Yeah.
kinds of, man, they done finessed us. They finessed us because look, I get the messages when y'all get it, and I'm trying not to react. All those times that you were, having a crisis of existential crises, and you just looking around and everything looking fake. All of those times you were jumping, you were jumping, you were moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
My heart's beating. Wow. So that is why we're able to rainbow bridge it to fifth dimensional Terra. And again, y'all got to understand again, quantum physics is, everything is here, right? So when I ground to the core of fifth dimensional Earth, which is here, because I don't discount our grid workers,
Yeah.
but
There's
you
some
got to
serious work.
understand that the grid work is being done on that so-called vacation planet. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have the memories of the planet that is healing herself right now. Gaia leapfrogged from that planet to this planet to fifth dimensional Gaia. She
Wow.
was here for a little bit, for like 5 minutes.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then now she's there and she's like, okay, come on. Like a duck, the ducklings that follow the mama duck and they got to jump down off the
Yeah.
curb. And we've been
When
just
did that happen? You think?
going.
When did the actual shift go? Was it a time where we could like call it a time and point at it and say this was
I,
when?
I'm telling you, like we're talking way back in the 70s that
I'm
we've been following Mama Duck from the
okay,
Terminator. I call it the Terminator timeline, y'all. I do
1979.
I'm sitting, all I know is the 70s. That's what I got.
Okay.
But yeah, so y'all have no idea how easy we have it compared to, well, there's nothing to compare it to. We lived through it. The star seeds and light workers lived through it. We have that memory, but we're not actually going to experience that now in the physical. So all of those negative timelines that people are talking about, and I'm talking about the extreme ones. I'm not talking about all the craziness that's happening on this planet. The craziness that's happening on this planet is because, again, it's not fifth dimensional reality. It's mostly fourth dimensional reality. And what happens on fourth dimensional reality? The freaks come out. Everything and anything else.
Sorry. Yeah.
We're mastering our minds because we are about to move into a space where everything you think it is, like literally. And we got to get that right before we can
Yeah.
rainbow bridge it. Okay. So I'm going to take my time. Now I understand why we have to take our time. This is why manifestation is becoming so much more obvious and big, and every little thing you do is like bam, because we are practicing it within fourth dimensional energies to be able to be be once we've gotten to that point of once we've gotten to that point of vibration where we can hold the intention and have a spiritual indifference. I think the most important part is the spiritual indifference, that because we have moments where we know that we're protected, we know that we are just pure divine love, and no matter what's going on around us, everything's good. We have been having moments of that, but they want us to hold that. And until we can hold that, there's no way we're going to fifth dimensional Terra just
Right.
willy nilly. We would actually self destruct.
Oh, I get it. We started to do something too. So here's what I got, and this goes along with what you were saying, is that it was spilling over. The unhealed hearts were spilling over because all everybody's like, "Let's go on the bridge, guys," but like they're still like, "I'm a victim" stuff, right? And it's like it doesn't work. That those two things don't go together. And so they were like, "Child gate, you guys go back. You're screwing up our frequency. Go back."
It's like we're in a waiting room. We're in we're in the foyer,
Yeah.
you know. And again, I love a girl in the universe. Now I understand why she says that there are some people, because it's true. There are some people that are already living and flourishing on fifth dimensional Terra. She calls it, what is it? What does she call it? Blessed Gaia. Um, they are there living and flourishing, and they come to actually visit us here. Okay. And there's a difference between the light workers that have moments on blessed Gaia. I'm gonna use that term. Because we've been there momentarily, but we have not been there for an extensive period of time and built and all this and that, like those have. And they are the ones that are working with us, the light workers, the people that are the way showers, um, to bridge that gap. Everything is a step down. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So we have hands to hold, and then we are the hands to hold. You see,
Yeah.
it's like a chain, because nobody is left behind.
Yeah.
This is not a religious box. You're gonna go to blah blah blah, because on a soul level, even the most heinous people out there, on a soul level, they had their role to play
Yeah.
for the evolution of the whole thing. Because again, we are following the logos of Gaia. We're following her. She was gonna do it with or without us. We're
Right.
lucky we're able to go. Like when your mom says, "Hey, get in the car. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wait on you. You better get in the car."
Right.
It's that situation. You don't want to be left home. You don't know
No,
what you're missing out on. They might be going to eat pizza or something.
you never know.
And that's what happened. She's like, "Yo, I'm leaving. Y'all coming? You
Right.
know, I'll give you 5 minutes." This is a long 5 minutes.
Dude. And the first part of the 5 minutes, you're just like, dude, this is taking forever. And now it's just like, oh crap, we're already here. I have it. Where's my shoes? Darn it, you should have put your shoes where they go.
We are so much like kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I just love the inner child and embracing it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay. And that's not easy to believe sometimes when you're here in this reality. But that's why it's important to really get with yourself and play with the energies and learn from yourself, because it is yourself that's teaching you.
Yeah.
So you got to really get into because you'll realize, and it's such a relief when you realize that none of this is serious and none of this is real. And you're gonna have those moments where you really know that, but then something's gonna happen and you're gonna be like, right?
Right.
But we're working on having more of those moments where this reality doesn't get to you. So you can be indefinitely indifferent.
It's so nice to be that way. Like the thing that I call the uninvestment, teaching people how to uninvest,
Hmm.
because it's like there was the, you know how like there's this thing of like there's a social agreement. If someone says you made me mad, then you're supposed to do something, and I won't. I'm good. Like I didn't do shit. Like I'm sorry. Like I mean,
Nobody can make you mad. That
yeah,
you
like
to me was the issue in the beginning. You chose to react that way. You chose to have that feeling.
right.
Period.
And you know, I didn't mean any malice by it, so there's nothing for me to correct. You know,
Mhm.
and like, and there's some people who get really upset. You know, they're like, you know, and that I'll say stuff like, "I don't consent to your manipulation," when they're expected demanding an apology. I'm no, I'm good. And it doesn't have to. It doesn't tend to be that big of a drama like I just displayed. It's usually
Mhm.
very brief, but it's that kind of thing of like, no, I'm good. Like what's going on over there in your little picture world has nothing to do with what's going on in my one. And you know, and like, and then when we realize it doesn't matter, then everything's funny. And I like
Yes.
it that way.
Oh, sometimes I have to watch that though because people don't understand why I be laughing at stuff I shouldn't be laughing about. But again, that's okay. I got the human design thing going on. Okay. And part of my vocation involves the cinnabar field. Okay. I don't know if y'all know what the cinnabar field is, but it's when you pass the Rubicon. Okay. At some point, the whole point was nothing matters. It's like on a cartoon where they show the blank page and there's no illustration. I understand that on a soul level, and I understand how that feels, and I have that within me. So, and I love me some Gene Keys, y'all. I love it because it explains everything. When people hear me laugh, they love to hear me laugh, and I'm like, that's so interesting because it's so weird to me. And then I go into Gene Keys and I read about my vocation, the thing that you do for work or whatever, right? And my laughter is in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh, this makes sense. It's literally a frequency. It's a thing. It's not just, oh, people like the way I laugh because it sounds a certain way. No, like
Yeah.
when I laugh, there's a frequency. I
You
didn't
should,
know that.
in
I had no
fact,
clue.
comments with like 5 or 6 times people have commented on your laugh just today.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just feeling
It's
it.
a y'all look into y'all Gene Keys because it will literally help you understand people's responses to you,
Yeah.
and it'll help you be more it'll help you manage your energy better and understand what your energy is doing because our energy, especially as spiritual workers, it precedes us.
Right.
So if you understand that you're scaring someone or going to scare someone, but you really need to get something done, you know that you need to behave a certain way in order to get whatever it is you need to get and then just be done with it. Um, because again, we are walking the fringe. We can't just walk around fully just out there like we want to in certain situations because there are still things that we need. You can't walk up to the bank teller talking about fiat currency doesn't exist. Nah, you can't do that. However, as an alchemist, you can
Yeah.
you can manipulate the energy of that currency.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave that there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna say nothing else about that.
Yeah. You know, one of
Yeah.
the easiest things is to impart your energy on a water molecule. This is the same example. Like you've seen what you can do to water molecules, making them speak in nice, kind, happy words, then they are opposite. And what's cool about that is that when you then pull the drain or whatever, it imparts and it goes and goes and goes and goes, and all the different water molecules. We're like mostly water. There's all this water, water, water. So
Yep.
if you go in the water and change that, you'll get to see how much you can change, and then you're empowered to see that you can change everything, like you were saying.
It's that moment where you see what you've done.
Yeah.
And you realize that this system that has kept you so trapped and so scared, you realize that what was behind the curtain was this tiny little man speaking through a dang microphone, making his voice big like on the Wizard of Oz. Because you just wizarded, okay? You were the wizard the whole time, and you didn't know it. It's amazing. And unfortunately, of course, because of the physical body and being in the middle of change with the Christed, I call them Christed sprinkles, with the crystallization, okay, with the crystalline body coming online and all this and that, we tend to forget our greatest victories in alchemy, in manifesting. Um, that is literally just a default nuance. I don't know if I'm saying it right, of being in a physical reality, in a physical body, that we tend to forget these amazing experiences. And somehow, 2 days later, you're scared of something else when you just did this amazing thing and proved that you can do it, right? There's rules in place. But what do I always say is that third dimensional rules don't apply to fifth dimensional beings, okay? Or beyond. We got seventh, ninth dimensional beings walking around here. So third dimensional rules don't apply. I can apply for the same bank loan as the next person with the same criteria. And through alchemy, I can make it happen. You have to have that level of understanding and knowing and courage to try it. Just try it. That's why we call it play. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, they could say no.
Right.
You have to try it all. Okay. Because you'd be amazed at what you pull off when you thought you couldn't, because everybody else said you couldn't, because they couldn't. Because they were too scared. It's not because you couldn't. It was fear that stopped them from challenging the rules, or going against the grain, or standing their ground. It was simply fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lack of trust.
There's some people that I know right now that's been driving without car insurance for like a year and some change. When we talk about walking on faith, I'm not telling y'all to break the rules and all this and that, but what I'm telling you is that you don't have to do a lot of stuff that you think you have to do. And you need to know the difference between a law, a mandate. You need to, when you educate yourself, right, on how the system works and what's being used against you, you can then use that energy for not only your highest good, but everybody else's highest good around you. So don't be afraid to look into it or learn, okay, about what's actually being done to you, because that's exactly how you're going to free yourself from it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not walking
You're
around
totally
foolish.
We can sit here and talk about this forever. There's so many layers of like this and this and this and this and this and this that we do, or that are culturally speaking of is done and just accepted and just readily accepted, and like, and it's propagated by, television programming. So everybody agrees to the same, rules or whatever. And those who stray, then there's a social dynamic of like peer pressure. And it self-propagates. It just works itself and keeps going until someone says, no,
Yeah,
I'm done.
exactly. And the pandemic and like literally ever since 2020, you've been shown how quickly the rules can change, because that's all they are intentions or declarations, just like you can have intentions or declarations and then decide, okay, now you want something different. Nothing is solid here. We are in a
Right.
flux. Everything is fluid, but they want you to think everything is solid. So they use words. The English language was designed to work against you. You literally have to watch the way you speak, because I mean, whoever started all of this obviously was a higher intelligence, like not just a basic human, because the plan was intricate.
Yeah.
Okay, it was so intricate. Like everything around you is literally, the point of it is to maintain your ignorance. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And to keep you asleep. And like, I mean, this is we're probably won't have enough time to go into this subject because there's so much to it, but this is my opinion, and it just feels like this something of another layer of the thought and energy
Hmm.
that kind of what he had done is he wasn't supposed to write the Emerald Tablets. It was supposed to be oral tradition. He broke the rules so he can descend and become man and incarnate. And I mean, he was a universal soldier who did everything forever and ever. And everybody wants a break sometimes. And um, but what he did was he described the masculine, defined masculine energy, and then he called it distortion, shadow.
Hmm.
He called it the bad guy, and yeah. And then not only did he write it down, but he put it in the emerald tablet and an alchemy on it so it could never ever break. And so everybody would always read it. And he was the one who brought writing and language. And it makes me wonder if in his descent he did something with language, because now it's spelling, right?
Yeah.
We're casting a spell against ourselves,
Yeah.
right?
And
So there's something else
we're seeing we're seeing things we've never seen before, understanding things we never understood, but they've been here the whole time. Um,
there.
Everything is masculine. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much everything was so masculine until I swear I'm like 6 weeks into this awakening of how much that masculine energy, and I'm not talking about positive
Yeah.
like masculine energy. I'm talking about that masculine energy, that extreme. It's in everything in everybody. This is not
Yeah.
a male, female, you, me, point the finger. No, y'all don't
Yeah.
realize even the little feminist fights and the people arguing about wives and husbands and girls and guys and all this and that.
Yeah.
That's a whole distraction. The masculine energy has seeped all the way through everybody, everywhere, just period. Masculine, that particular masculine energy is that's not necessarily great for everybody, is combative. It's
Right.
it's restrictive, it's
Yeah.
extreme. So that's how you recognize it, okay? Because I'm not talking about a man, okay?
No.
I'm talking about the energy that is combative, restrictive, constrictive, um, and just hard.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
energy that we are speaking of, that has really seeped into a lot of us. And now what's happening is we're technically taking a shower. We didn't even know we were dirty.
Yeah.
The feminine energy, again, I associate it with water, and it's working. When water erodes rock to make new formations, it takes a while. If
Yeah.
something's really, really dirty and water is naturally cleaning it, and we don't have a power washer, it's going to take a while to get the layers of dirt off just by the natural rhythms of the water moving and things like that. And I feel like that's where we are. So as the layers are coming off, we're seeing just how dirty everything
Yeah.
was with that negative masculine energy. Do you see?
Yeah. Your analogies, so I get the way I get visions that are like cartoons, like pieces of movies is usually kind of what it looks like. It's like parts of, and the visual I'm given is like a canvas, like you would use to paint,
Mm-hmm.
and it just has a lot of layers of dried paint like piled up,
Mm-hmm.
and what's underneath is beautiful. What's really real is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the falsity, it's all the stuff that's piled up on top of it. And like so like the divine feminine was removed completely from the paradigm, and the divine masculine was left behind to be tortured and manipulated and changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't even remember who he is. That's been a fun conversation lately,
Mm-hmm.
as all these masculine embodiments, these men having these conversations of like, what is divine masculine?
Yeah.
People are just starting to try to figure that out
Mm-hmm.
because it was falsely assigned this other thing before
Mm-hmm.
that was made to be the one that came in and did the murdering and the raping, and also was the one who was left to take the responsibility for all those things when they were also, it's really
Twisted.
complicated.
Yeah.
What?
It's twisted, you know.
Yeah.
And again, there's always an inversion. If you're ever going to look for something that's not necessarily for your highest good, look for the inversion. Okay.
Yeah.
It's literally just the opposite of what it should be.
Yeah.
With the divine masculine and then this toxic masculinity energy, um, with the aggression, you have assertiveness over here with the divine masculine, and then you have the aggression with the toxic masculinity. You see what I mean? And that's the example that I want to give you guys when I tell you to look for inversions. That's what I mean. You know, there's extremes in the inversion. It's not just
Yeah.
simply, oh, um, that thing is the total opposite of, a lie and the truth, right? No, it's
Right.
an extreme lie compared to the
Yeah.
truth. You
Right.
see what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
just notice that so that you can no longer, because there's a lot of confusion right now.
Right.
It's too easy to get confused right now. And I think that's the biggest challenge a lot of us have is being confused. But it's only because, again, the system has programmed you to feel like you have to try in certain situations where you don't actually have to. And it requires you to become your own authority and let yourself off the hook and say, okay, I don't actually have to do this. And it's okay. And people
Yeah.
may get mad, but that's not on me. It's not my responsibility, my obligation. I can actually, for real, let this go. I'm going to be okay. They're going to be okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's better too, like you said, like that fallback, the experiment of like the trust, where you like
Mhm.
fall back and someone catches you kind of thing. um with that, it's that I just embraced that recently, but like a little bit, it's to the extreme that I have. And like, and when you do that, all of a sudden everything's easy and everything's awesome and fun and stuff. It's the same kind of concept. It's just like going into the trust, and there's a lot of things that we unconditioned to teach ourselves to unteach, to not trust, I guess is the right way to say it.
Mhm.
And we're a little bit at a time. We do need to wrap it up a little bit here. I've got to go to the bathroom. I gotta
That part.
pee.
Do I?
I do have a question really quick. Yeah, but we've both been drinking all these fluids.
Yeah.
Is that so October, we talked about October 14th, there's the ring of the solar eclipse that's going to be the ring that's going to go across the planet. And I've been getting a lot of stuff about this particular solar eclipse. And so I was just wondering if you've gotten anything too, or this is just kind of
No, because the way that I see October, like I will look at the astrology and everything when I'm doing my notes for that particular part, but they have me seeing October in a whole way. So it's like a Where's Waldo page. I
yeah, okay.
know
Yeah.
that October is going to look like a Where's Waldo page, but those tiny pictures and stuff are actually moving around.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, oh, we need to talk about this. So I have to sit there and dissect that in order to translate it to everybody else.
That makes
I
sense.
hadn't gotten to
That
it
makes sense.
yet.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Like I'm with you. The layers of September have been overwhelming. Just the layers of September. I'm like, I'm still like, we're talking about next weekend in my head still, and it's just like it's Sunday. Do you know what's Sunday right now?
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
I didn't
It's
realize
so
it until earlier in the conversation when you told me that yesterday was Saturday.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, Josie, let's say again how to find you. There, your YouTube channel is linked to the description of this video,
Mhm.
and um, you also have a couple of different resources. If you would mind sending me those, I could add them to the description of the video so they can find
Yeah,
you on those
something that they
platforms.
can. I'm one of those people. I'm like, send it to me in a text. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Those are the three platforms that I keep up with. So we'll put everything in the description box for you. Pin it to the chat.
Perfect.
I think I streamed on my channel, so it'll be there too.
If you didn't, I'm going to send you a copy of the recording of this video so you can do anything you want with it. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for the honor of coming and joining this conversation today. I hope you come back sometime.
Oh man. Y'all, thank y'all all for coming. Love you whole bunch. We both gotta pee.
Yeah, we
So,
do.
kisses and
Love you.
love to all of you. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.